I made a video called My Heritage, the Irony of Ethnic Diversity in Country Music. And Arthur Holt, who is one of the most faithful commenters on my videos, he has simply said this, quote, "Country music is racist and it's way too white," end quote. I responded, "How do we make country music less white?" End quote. I'm curious about that. I mean, is country music racist would be my first question, and immediately I would say no. Modern country music that's on the radio now, I think definitely leaves room for diversity. But as far as making it less white, I think that's part of the problem too, is that demographically, country music typically is more attractive to people who are mainly of European descent and relate more with pickup trucks and farms and living the country life. So if that's a theme, the simple life is a theme of country music, modern day, is it excluding people who cannot relate to that? I could even argue that, well, look at the demographics of who's listening to country music versus who's not listening to country music. Look at the minorities that are not listening to that. How does their lifestyle relate to that? Are they growing up in the country, or are they growing up in more urban areas? Can they relate to the music? So whose fault is it? Is it the fault of the country songwriters talking about that shared experience of what it means to live the country life? Is it their fault for writing those songs, or is it the fault of the radio listeners who continue to support that as a common theme? If that's a theme in the music, how do we change that? I mean, and I'm asking a question, I mean, what does that mean? Do we need someone who's more ethnic to say, you know what? I want to be a country music star. Okay, let me just create something that's a little bit more safe. I don't want to use an African American in this example. I want to use someone who's Indian. They were born in America, but their parents are from India. Okay, let's call them. I don't even want to use the name because I don't want to be said that I'm generalizing. So we have a 25-year-old man. Ethnically and culturally, he's an Indian man, but he was born here in America, and he decides, you know what? I actually like country music, and I want to become a country music star. So my question is, what is keeping him from becoming a country music star, and what is keeping him from therefore diversifying country music? Well, here's what I would say. So he writes the songs. Let's say he grew up in South Carolina. I understand there's a decent amount of people who are of Indian descent who live in South Carolina. And he decides, you know what? I'm gonna learn to play the acoustic guitar. I'm gonna start writing songs and singing, and I wanna make it in country music. I wanna be a country music star. I like country music. So, as he writes these things, they reflect the culture that people already attach to country music, which again is kind of the simpler life, laid back, living on the farm, going out on Friday night, whatever it is. All of those things that make country music and give it its identity. And he moves to Nashville. He starts a YouTube channel, and there he is. He makes it big, and now he's finally done it because people liked him and his embrace of country music. Here's what I want to say. If you go back in country music like 3.5, 4 decades ago, I have found racism in country music. There's a 1983 album from Hank Williams Jr. And I saw the CD one time, and I just looked at the titles, and I thought, the title itself is racist. So has racism existed in country music? It has. But as far as that's what country music is about, no, I definitely do not believe that. As far as what's happening right now, as far as what's playing on the radio and what is making people country music stars, what's going on there, I think it's inclusive if you want to be included. I think if someone who is a different ethnicity wants to become a star in country music, the only thing stopping them is their desire to want to be involved in country music. I would love to see country music become more diverse. I would love that. I think it would add to country music. And it's not because he's the main African-American country music star, but I think by default, if you listen to country music, you have to love Darius Rucker. It's just common sense. Of course he's great at it. Of course he's good at it. It's not necessarily because he is or isn't African American or whatever he is. I mean, he's African American. But I'm saying it's not because of that, but I'm sure of the fact that he is African American sheds a little bit of a different view on things. And he just happens to be from South Carolina. Interesting. So, is country music racist? I believe absolutely it's not. And I think the only thing that continues to make it so white is the fact that for the most part, people who are ethnically diverse typically aren't attracted to the content in country music and they don't relate to it. But hey, if someone does relate to it, like Darius Rucker did, he says, hey, I've grown up listening to country music. I want to see if I can be a country music star. This is something I want to do. And he did it. He was embraced. He was welcomed in. I think it has more to do with people who are ethnically diverse not wanting to become country music stars in the first place. If they're talented and their heart is in country music, I think they're going to end up being on the radio and being in the videos. Country music, I think, often is defined by being authentic. If you're authentically identifying yourself with country music, I think the country music identity, the country music community will welcome you with open arms. But of course, you have to have the talent to begin with, and to have the talent, you have to have that desire. That's why I believe that there's not more diversity in country music. But I absolutely believe that modern country music is 100% welcoming to people of different backgrounds and ethnicity, as long as it fits into the theme of what country music is all about. And I don't believe country music is about racism at all. Not modern day. You can find older exceptions to the rule, but what is played on the radio, if you feel that you belong, you belong. That's what I feel about country music and how they perceive people. If you feel that you belong, then you belong.